From that new washing machine you just purchased to your smartphone and the car you drive, right to repair is becoming an increasingly important issue in the modern world. Not so long ago, it was pretty easy to repair things yourself when they went wrong. If your car broke down, you needed a few wrenches, a little common sense, and some time to identify the problem, buy the spare parts, and get yourself back onto the road. If your washing machine broke, the same was true. Take it apart, figure out what the problem was, and go down to the local hardware store for a replacement unit. But as gadgets and tools that we use on a daily basis become ever more complex, they're becoming filled with increasingly large numbers of custom integrated chips. And that means it's becoming harder and harder to work on the things that you own yourself. The software lockouts require specialist computer equipment to even diagnose problems, and manufacturers have historically, and in some places still are, using every single trick in the book to prevent customers from working on their own things. Apple comes to mind as one of the worst offenders in the gadget world, seemingly doing everything it possibly can to ensure that computers are only repaired in-house by its own in-house technicians, and even design their computers, smartphones and tablets in a way that can render them useless if someone cracks open the case and replaces a broken part with a new one that wasn't fitted or paired together at the factory. In the automotive world, we've seen the same push. There are computer chips in pretty much every single vehicle electronics system these days, and even things like light bulb replacements can prove costly for the average owner due to the electronics inside them. Luckily, there's a change happening in both the automotive world and the gadget world, spearheaded by the right to repair movement. The premise of it is pretty simple. If you own a thing, you should be allowed to repair it too. That movement has enjoyed some great successes in recent years, winning some pretty big legal cases, although not all, and helping push for legislation in certain areas that makes those little warranty void if removed stickers illegal. Yet in the automotive world, being able to work on your own car is simply still a challenge, especially if you own a Tesla. Indeed, unless you live somewhere where there was a legal requirement that Tesla gave you access to repair manuals online, even getting hold of the Tesla equivalent of a Haynes manual has to date been nigh on impossible. Before I go on though, I should point out that this isn't just a Tesla problem. Other automakers and even tractor companies, John Deere, I'm looking at you, have in recent years become ever more secretive about how their vehicles are built and have made it harder for owner enthusiasts to work on their own vehicles, be it the internal combustion engine or electric. Since most dealerships do offer parts service, it's been hard, but not impossible, to get the right parts to work on your car. And if you have deep pockets, it's also been possible in some cases to take out a service subscription to official diagnostic software, allowing you to hook up your computer to your car to diagnose any problems. While these services have traditionally been meant for third-party repair shops and mom-and-pop garages, many enthusiasts have to date been using them too. So, back to Tesla. If you're a fan of Rich Rebuilds or several other channels covering rebuilding and repairing cars, you'll know that Tesla has traditionally been, well, rather strict about who gets access to its factory repair manuals, parts lists, and parts ordering system. It's even gone so far as to turn off features like supercharging on salvage repaired cars after they've been rebuilt and re-registered, refusing to allow them access to its supercharger network or providing any spares or service. In one case, a New Zealand Tesla enthusiast who had purchased a salvage Tesla from Australia and paid for it to be recertified by Tesla Australia as being repaired to its own standards before having it shipped to New Zealand, found that despite Tesla Australia certifying it as being okay to use on its supercharger network, Tesla New Zealand wasn't having any of it. These stories, and others like it, have caused Tesla and other companies to lose brownie points with customers. Even simple parts that auto enthusiasts have been replacing on their cars for decades, though, like body panels and trim, have now become traditionally difficult to get hold of. Yet that's all changing thanks to an agreement made in 2014 across the auto industry, which comes into force at the end of this year. Under that agreement, automakers, responding to a law in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts which mandates repair data be available online to consumers, will make vehicle repair software manuals and parts lists available online in a commonly agreed format. Tesla is joining in, making its official parts catalogue for every single Tesla made since the original Roadster available. In addition, this parts catalogue, recently published, includes some pretty detailed schematics, which should help owners figure out how their cars go together. The whole thing is really nicely put together and very easy to peruse, and frankly, I'm pleased to see it's going to make repairing a Tesla a whole lot easier. This is great news for Tesla enthusiasts and DIY enthusiasts alike, and we should certainly praise Tesla for finally allowing its parts catalogue to be easily searched online by anyone. But sadly, while you can now look up any part you want, you may not be able to buy it directly from Tesla. While some parts will be available, Tesla's parts ordering system is intended for authorised repairers and garages. And if you're a regular Joe looking to replace certain parts like high voltage powertrains or power electronics, you're SOL, because Tesla won't sell you parts it doesn't think you're qualified to safely work on or install. So is it useful or not to have Tesla's parts catalogue online if you can't order any of the parts or the parts you want from Tesla? Some might say no, but honestly I'm leaning towards saying yes, because especially with plenty of salvage Teslas coming onto the market, it may be possible to hunt for the part you need for your car using a breaker's yard. And while many salvage places will have the attitude of not wanting to break up a Tesla because they don't understand electric cars and are scared of getting shocked, it may be easier to find the part you need and identify it by a part number. But for those who want new parts, those who are hoping to follow Rich and rebuild their own salvage Tesla, well, while the parts are now easier to identify, that's only half the battle. And it also doesn't address the issue of Tesla turning off features on cars that it feels have been rebuilt unsafely or aren't built properly. While this video is focused on Tesla, though, I'll reiterate that it's not just a Tesla problem. Other automakers are doing similar things when it comes to restricting access to EVs. But in order for electric cars to really take off, we need to make it easier for enthusiasts to repair them as well. What do you make of the new Tesla parts catalogue? Will it help DIY enthusiasts repair their cars, or is it just simply a move to ensure compliance with the rest of the auto industry? Leave your thoughts below. That's it. Don't forget to give us your thumbs up or your thumbs down, leave a comment, and as always, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. As always, thanks to our Patreon supporters, without whom we'd never be able to produce as much content as we do. A special thanks goes out to Krzysztof Zotl-Bojanowski, Mukal Novak, Herbert Siegel, Leszek Grizzle, Laura Sandborn, and Rick Crandall, all of whom have joined the ranks of Patreon supporters in the last week. You all rock. You can join them for yourself at patreon.com/transport evolved. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep evolving.